Feeling overwhelmed by the chaos of daily life? Struggling to find balance in a world that feels more demanding than ever? What if I told you that the secret to calm, resilience, and purpose has been around for thousands of years? Welcome to the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed not just for scholars, but for people like you and me, navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. Today, we're diving into 5 powerful Stoic practices that can help you take control of your mindset, reduce stress, and unlock a better life. But here's the twist. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or turning into a stone-faced monk. It's about mastering them. It's about shifting your focus from what's outside your control to what you can shape, your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. Here's a question. Do you ever feel anxious about things you can't change? Imagine if you could let go of that weight, knowing it doesn't define you. Or picture how much stronger you'd feel if setbacks didn't knock you down but sharpened your perspective instead. That's the power of Stoicism. In this video, we'll explore timeless practices like the Dichotomy of Control to free your mind from unnecessary worries. Negative visualization to prepare yourself for life's curveballs. And even Memento Mori, a reflection on mortality that teaches you how to live more fully. Each practice we'll cover is as relevant today as it was centuries ago, helping you cultivate the strength to weather any storm. By the end of this video, you won't just understand Stoic philosophy. You'll have practical tools to transform your life, one habit at a time. So, stick around. This isn't just another video. It's a guide to reclaiming your inner calm and living with intention. Let's get started. Let's start with a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. At its heart, this principle is simple but life-changing. There are things you can control, and there are things you can't. The key to a peaceful mind lies in learning the difference and acting accordingly. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. You can't control the cars in front of you, the traffic lights, or the clock ticking away. What you can control, however, is your response. Do you choose to stew in frustration, or do you use this time to listen to a podcast, practice deep breathing, or simply accept the situation? The choice is always yours, and it makes all the difference in how you experience the moment. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, put it this way: some things are up to us, and some things are not. He believed that by focusing on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and decisions, we free ourselves from the mental anguish caused by trying to change the unchangeable. It's a mindset shift that allows us to navigate life with more clarity and less emotional turmoil. Let's break this down with a real-world example. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview. What's within your control? Researching the company, practicing common questions, dressing appropriately, and arriving on time. What's outside your control? The interviewer's mood, the questions they ask, or the other candidates? By concentrating on what you can prepare for, you'll walk into that room with confidence, knowing you've done your best. Worrying about the rest is not only futile, it's draining. Now, let's address a common misconception. Focusing only on what you can control doesn't mean you ignore everything else. It means you approach challenges with clarity. You do your best where it matters and let go of the anxiety over outcomes you can't dictate. This mindset doesn't make you passive, it makes you powerful. Imagine it as drawing a mental boundary, a clear line between what deserves your energy and what doesn't. In relationships, for instance, this principle can be transformative. You can't control how others feel or react to you, but you can control how you communicate and whether you act with integrity. If someone misinterprets your intentions, dwelling on their opinion won't help. Instead, focus on ensuring your actions align with your values. This frees you from being overly affected by external validation or criticism. So how can you start applying the dichotomy of control in your life? Here are 3 practical steps. Pause and identify. When faced with stress or a problem, ask yourself, what part of this can I influence? Write it down if it helps. Shift your focus. Redirect your energy toward the aspects within your power, like your effort or attitude. Practice acceptance. For what you can't control, remind yourself it's not worth your mental peace. Acceptance isn't giving up, it's freeing yourself from the unnecessary weight of resistance. Think about this principle like a mental decluttering. You're sweeping away unnecessary worries to make space for productive actions. Imagine the relief of no longer carrying the burden of things you can't change. The world will always have chaos, but your mind doesn't have to mirror it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, once wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't just poetic, it's practical. In a chaotic world, the dichotomy of control is your anchor, keeping you grounded no matter the storm. To make this habit stick, start small. The next time you feel frustration creeping in, take a moment to evaluate, is this within my control? If not, release it. Day by day, this practice will rewire your thinking, giving you more energy for what truly matters. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift, a lighter heart, a clearer mind, and a stronger sense of purpose. Let's move to a practice that might sound counterintuitive at first: negative visualization. This Stoic exercise involves imagining the worst-case scenarios in life, not to dwell on fear, but to prepare yourself mentally and appreciate what you have right now. Here's a question. How often do you take things for granted? Your health, your loved ones, your job? It's human nature to focus on what's missing, yet rarely do we pause to cherish what's already ours. Negative visualization flips this mindset on its head. By intentionally picturing the loss of something we value, we cultivate gratitude for its presence in our lives. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, encouraged this practice. He said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." By visualizing difficulties, you're essentially building an emotional buffer against the unexpected. Think of it like a rehearsal for life's inevitable challenges. Let's look at an example. Imagine losing your phone, a minor inconvenience in the grand scheme, but still unsettling. Picture it, you reach for your pocket and it's gone. No calls, no navigation, no social media. Initially, it feels frustrating, but soon you realize how much of your day revolves around this device. Now shift your perspective. You have your phone right now, fully functioning and in your hand. How does it feel to appreciate it more, knowing what life would be like without it? This practice isn't about fixating on doom and gloom. It's about grounding yourself in the reality of impermanence and finding joy in what's fleeting. In fact, negative visualization can also make you more resilient. When you've already imagined the worst, you're less likely to be caught off guard when life throws you a curveball. Here's another example: relationships. Imagine life without your best friend, partner, or family member. How would your daily routine change? What moments would you miss the most? Now let that visualization guide you to treat them with greater kindness and gratitude today. The thought of loss makes their presence all the more meaningful. Negative visualization isn't just theoretical, it's practical. To incorporate it into your daily life, try these simple steps. Start small. Take a moment each morning to reflect on one thing or person in your life. Imagine what it would be like if it were gone. Don't overdo it. Keep these visualizations brief and focused. They're not meant to drag you into sadness, but to heighten your appreciation. Channel the gratitude. After the exercise, express your appreciation, either by journaling or directly telling someone how much they mean to you. Think of this practice as a mental workout. Just as lifting weights strengthens your body, visualizing adversity strengthens your mind. You become less attached to material things and more connected to the people and experiences that truly matter. But there's another layer to this. When you imagine potential setbacks, you also prepare for them strategically. Let's say you think about losing your job. Instead of panicking, you can take proactive steps. Update your resume, network with colleagues, or build a financial cushion. Negative visualization doesn't just make you grateful, it makes you ready. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Begin each day by telling yourself, I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." This isn't pessimism, it's mental armor. By acknowledging the challenges ahead, you face them with calm and resolve. At first, this practice might feel uncomfortable. It's not easy to think about losing what we love, but over time, it becomes a source of strength. Instead of fearing change, you embrace it. Instead of clinging to what you can't keep forever, you savor it fully in the present. By practicing negative visualization, you'll find a new depth of gratitude in the simplest moments. Life's uncertainties will still come, but they won't shake you. You'll meet them with grace, knowing you've already prepared your mind and heart. Now let's explore a practice that may feel uncomfortable at first, but holds profound power. Memento Mori, or the reflection on mortality. This Latin phrase means remember you must die, and while it might sound morbid, it's one of the most life-affirming Stoic practices. Why would anyone want to think about death? The Stoics believed that by embracing the reality of mortality, we free ourselves from fear and procrastination. When you accept that life is finite, every moment becomes precious, and you're inspired to live more fully. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." These words aren't meant to evoke despair, but to encourage urgency in living with purpose. If today were your last, would you spend it worrying about trivial matters? Or would you focus on what truly matters? Love, growth, and contribution. One practical application of Memento Mori is to reflect on how you spend your time. Think about your daily habits. How much of your day is consumed by distractions, arguments, or regrets? If you knew your time was limited, which it is, would you make different choices? This perspective can be a powerful motivator to prioritize what brings you fulfillment. Here's an example. Imagine a project or goal you've been putting off. Perhaps you've been meaning to call an old friend, start that fitness journey, or work on a passion project. Memento Mori reminds you that there's no guarantee of tomorrow. What's stopping you from acting now? Another way to practice this mindset is by cherishing small moments. A sunrise, a shared laugh, or even the warmth of a cup of coffee can feel infinitely more meaningful when you realize they're not guaranteed. Gratitude often grows when you embrace life's impermanence. For the Stoics, reflecting on death wasn't just about appreciating life. It was also about facing fears. Many of us fear death because it's unknown and unavoidable. But Stoic thinkers like Epictetus taught that fearing the inevitable is irrational. Instead, they encouraged seeing death as a natural part of life. Epictetus wrote, "What harm is there in returning to where you came from? What awaits you is simply the dissolution of the elements from which you're made." To make Memento Mori a regular part of your life, try these steps. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to ask, if this were my last day, did I live it well? Visual reminders. Some Stoics kept objects, like a skull or an hourglass, as symbols of mortality. Today, a journal entry or even setting a calendar reminder can serve the same purpose. Write your eulogy. This may sound intense, but consider what you'd want people to remember about you. Does your current life align with that vision? This practice also helps us let go of trivial worries. For instance, consider how much energy we spend on what others think of us. In the grand scheme of things, does it matter? Memento Mori invites us to focus on what's meaningful instead of being bogged down by life's petty distractions. If reflecting on death still feels daunting, remember this: Memento Mori isn't about dwelling on the end. It's about enhancing the present. By contemplating mortality, we recognize the value of each breath we take and the potential in each decision we make. Let's return to Marcus Aurelius, who often meditated on this concept. He wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." These words remind us that we don't need to wait for a wake-up call to start living intentionally. The time to act is now. In practicing Memento Mori, you'll find a greater sense of urgency, gratitude, and purpose. Life becomes less about distractions and more about connection. Paradoxically, by remembering death, we learn how to truly live. Have you ever wondered why modern life, despite its comforts, can sometimes feel unfulfilling? Stoics believe that too much ease can weaken our resilience, which is why they practiced voluntary discomfort, deliberately exposing themselves to temporary hardships to build mental and emotional strength. The logic is simple. By stepping out of your comfort zone on your own terms, you prepare yourself for the inevitable challenges life will throw at you. It's a controlled way to cultivate resilience, gratitude, and self-discipline. Take cold showers, for instance. This seemingly small discomfort teaches you to endure unpleasant sensations and reinforces your ability to act despite discomfort. Or consider fasting, not as a way to lose weight, but as a practice of appreciating abundance. When you go without food for a short period, you realize how much you've taken it for granted. Seneca often spoke of voluntary discomfort. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" For Seneca, it wasn't about suffering. It was about proving to yourself that you can endure far more than you think. Let's explore how you can apply this today. Voluntary discomfort doesn't have to be extreme to be effective. Here are a few practical examples. Physical challenges. Take a brisk walk in the cold without a jacket, sleep without a pillow, or limit yourself to simple meals for a day. Mental challenges. Practice silence for a set period, avoid social media for a day, or say no to a small indulgence you'd usually give into. Financial restraint. Spend a week without buying anything non-essential. This not only builds discipline, but also helps you appreciate what you already have. The goal isn't self-punishment, it's self-mastery. By voluntarily facing small hardships, you develop the mental toughness to handle life's bigger struggles with grace and composure. You learn to live with less and appreciate more. Voluntary discomfort also breaks the cycle of dependency on constant convenience. It reminds you that true happiness isn't found in external luxuries, but in your ability to adapt and persevere. When you adopt this practice, you may be surprised by how much strength you uncover. The discomfort you fear is often smaller than you imagine, and the growth you gain is far greater than you expect. The final practice is one that ties everything together: journaling and self-reflection. For the Stoics, the act of writing wasn't just a habit, it was a cornerstone of their philosophy. It allowed them to review their thoughts, refine their actions, and stay aligned with their principles. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, one of the most famous Stoic texts, is essentially his personal journal. In it, he reflects on his struggles, his goals, and the lessons he's learned. He wrote not to impress others, but to better understand himself. This practice remains just as valuable today. Why is journaling so effective? It gives you a space to process emotions, identify patterns in your behavior, and plan for the future. Instead of letting thoughts swirl in your mind, you anchor them on paper, gaining clarity and perspective. To start your own Stoic journaling practice, consider these 3 simple prompts. What went well today? Reflecting on your successes builds gratitude and reinforces positive habits. What could I have done better? This isn't about self-criticism, but about constructive self-improvement. What will I focus on tomorrow? Set intentions for the next day to stay purposeful and proactive. Journaling doesn't have to take long. 5 to 10 minutes is enough. The key is consistency. Over time, you'll notice how this daily habit sharpens your self-awareness and helps you respond more thoughtfully to challenges. In addition to daily journaling, the Stoics often reviewed their actions at the end of the day. Seneca advised, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go over what I have done and said." This reflection allows you to learn from your experiences and approach tomorrow with a clearer mind. One of the hidden benefits of journaling is its ability to slow you down. In a fast-paced world, taking a moment to pause, think, and write can be transformative. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself and realign with your values. By integrating journaling and self-reflection into your routine, you're not just recording your thoughts, you're actively shaping your character. It's a practice that strengthens your mind, clarifies your goals, and helps you live with greater intention. Now that we've explored 5 powerful Stoic practices, embracing the dichotomy of control, negative visualization, Memento Mori, voluntary discomfort, and journaling, you're equipped with tools that can transform the way you approach life. Each of these practices is simple yet profound, designed to help you build resilience, clarity, and gratitude. But here's the most important takeaway. Stoicism isn't just about thinking differently, it's about living intentionally. These practices only work if you apply them. Start small. Choose one practice today, maybe a 5-minute journaling session or reflecting on what's truly within your control, and see how it shifts your perspective. Life will always present challenges, but with the wisdom of Stoicism, you can face them with calm and confidence. Remember, it's not about striving for perfection, it's about progress and growth. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to like it and share your favorite Stoic practice in the comments. And if you're ready for more content that inspires and empowers, hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey of self-improvement. Until next time, keep practicing, keep growing, and remember, the Stoic path is not just a philosophy, it's a better way to live.